What's up YouTube? Welcome back to the Life of Sean YouTube channel where I make videos on anything and everything that I can think of. New video every single week. So before we get started, make sure you subscribe down below so you don't miss out on any future videos. Now in today's video, I'm going to be unboxing a piece of technology which, as far as technology goes, this is pretty analog and it's actually quite old technology, but it's been repurposed to be able to use with new technology. It is a pancake lens, which actually uses a disposable lens that can actually adapt to my Canon R8 and hopefully get those sort of disposable camera-like qualities whilst using a modern technology camera. So let's get it unboxed and have a look. And after we get it unboxed, I will be testing this out. I'll be using it outside because it doesn't have all of the settings to be able to actually increase brightness and things like that. It has to be outside with very good lighting to be able to use and actually produce good quality photos or disposable camera quality photos, which I like the look of. I use a disposable camera more on my holiday to Queensland than I did my new camera that I'd only just purchased at the time. So hopefully I can get that sort of quality out of this lens. It was only like $56 or something like that. Let's unbox it and then later on we'll test it out with some video as well as some test photos. So just going off the packaging, it is super lightweight. So just feeling the package, it is super lightweight. I know it's only like a 3D printed piece of equipment. Hopefully the quality that they've used is really good. Hopefully it lasts a long time. So pretty simple packaging, Amazon receipt, and this is the whole kit and caboodle. Pretty small. I didn't expect much for being such a small piece of equipment, obviously. Let's get it out of this tiny little box. Have a look what we're looking like. To be fair, it looks like an Oreo. And it's super light, so even if I only use it a couple of times, I'm pretty happy with just being able to keep it in my bag. If it adapts to my camera properly, which it says it does. It actually doesn't look like this one is 3D printed. Unlike other ones that I've seen, they actually are 3D printed. It does come with a cap, I guess, to protect the small side of the lens inside. It's got the notch, so you know where to line it up. Super lightweight, super small. I'm not sure if you'd be able to tell, but the cap doesn't screw in exactly straight, so I'm hoping that doesn't affect the way it mounts onto the camera. So I'm not sure exactly how they actually made this. Hopefully the front lens doesn't get scratched up too much. So looking at the description, which I purchased this off Amazon, it's a 32mm prime lens, obviously because you can't zoom or anything. And it's saying it's a 32mm wide angle. I'm not sure how wide a 32mm is. I guess 35 is the standard, so 32 is technically wider than 35. It's saying it's a f10 focus free. So as long as something is 1.5 meters beyond, then it should be in focus, and everything beyond that will be in focus as well. So hopefully that just makes it super easy to shoot with, as long as you have good lighting, as I've mentioned before. Hopefully we get some good quality shots using this lens. Hopefully it gives us that same effect, the same sort of nostalgia. And I'm wondering how it's going to work for video as well, because I shoot predominantly videos. Hopefully that this can produce some sort of decent quality video. I'm not sure if I'll be able to use it as an everyday lens, if it's going to cut the quality, because the whole purpose I bought this camera was to have good quality videos, and I don't want it to completely shatter the quality and then the videos just look crappy again. So I'll probably just use this for like family portraits, or if I'm going to take my camera away for take photos or whatever, then I'll use this lens. Without wasting any more time, let's get out in the field. We'll swap over the lenses and see what kind of quality photos and videos that we can get out of this tiny little lens, which I'm actually so stoked if it works out the way that I hope it does. Comes in a little plastic bag, which I'll probably keep it in so that I don't damage the front lens. All right, so I'll pass you on to Sean from the future so that you can decide if this lens is worth your cold hard cash, even though it's only like 50 bucks. So I will be able to compare the quality of an actual disposable camera with the Canon R8 with this little pancake lens attached to it. Because as I said, I use the disposable camera in Queensland, so I do have digital copies of those photos. So we'll be able to have a look at those as well as photos from the Canon R8. All right, well, I've popped down to Thirlmere Lakes to do a test on this disposable lens. So throughout this video, you will see the quality change as it will go from my 16mm to the roughly 32mm on this disposable lens here. I also have my GoPro set up just on the side here so that you can see the difference between the focal lengths to sort of get a similar shot to what you're seeing here. I'm also going to test it with some photos and also some other shots of like the lake and things like that, just so you sort of get an idea of what this lens can actually look like and what it can do for you if you plan on purchasing this lens. I did use this over the weekend at a family event, and it was really cool to see the sort of effect that you can get out of this. You don't have a lot of adjustments as far as brightness and obviously focus and things like that, because it is a fixed lens. Basically anything beyond 1.5 meters will pretty much be in focus, but I was still able to get some decent shots. I do like the focal length. It sort of felt like a true like 1-to-1. It didn't feel super wide, it doesn't feel super close. It sort of feels exactly how a lens should be, which is basically like 35 is basically the perfect lens for a full frame. So it's making me really want to invest in either a 35 or a 28 even possibly, but I do think I am going to invest in a 24-105. That's for a future video, which you'll probably see if I do end up getting that lens. But anyway, in this video we're going to try out this lens, so let's swap it over and see what the quality is like, see what the focal length is like, and see what the colors are like using the recycled disposable lens. So let's swap it over. Alright, so I now have swapped over the lens. It's similar sort of distance to my face, but as you can see it's almost twice the focal length of this 16mm, so it is a fair way back. You'll be able to see in the GoPro how far back it is now. It's probably another 1.5 meters or so, and you get this sort of shot. This is the sort of quality that you can expect from a disposable camera lens being upcycled to be able to be reused on modern cameras, which I think is really cool. I don't mind the look of the shot. The colors are a bit more muted, but that's sort of the effect that you do get with a normal disposable camera as well. There is a little bit of adjustments as far as brightness and lighting. It's pretty much just a plug and play. There is one setting that you do have to change on the camera to get it to work, which I found you have to set every time the camera sort of goes to sleep, which I noticed after taking a few shots at that family event that I was talking about. And you do get this sort of vignette around the corners. Again, similar to a proper disposable camera, but being able to use it for video is awesome. You can get this super nostalgic effect, and to use them for photos where you can actually see the photo straight away rather than waiting to have them developed and then realize that they haven't turned out the way you wanted them to, which I have found with actual disposable cameras. You will just hope that the photo you've taken worked, and you don't know until you've paid extra money to get them developed or turned into digital files. There is no waiting around for it. You can see instant results with your modern camera to see if those photos have actually turned out well. You don't have to pay extravagant amounts of money for like an old school Polaroid camera or anything like that to get these sort of old school effects. But if you just search on Amazon or Google for your type of camera mount with a disposable lens, I'm sure you'll be able to find something similar. So there are definitely other options out there for you. As far as quality is concerned, you can see there is a definite change in overall image quality. There is a bit more noise. I haven't checked this footage back obviously because I'm currently filming it, but just going off what I had seen over the weekend, you can see there is more increase in noise. The colors are a bit more muted, and just you do feel like it is shooting in an old school sort of setting whilst using modern technology, which is I find it so cool. It's almost a no-brainer to just grab one, chuck it in your camera bag or chuck it in your pocket and attach it to your camera and use it if it suits you, if that's what you're after. It seems silly to not. Even if you just get it and try for 20 or 30 photos, right there and then is how much you would have spent on a disposable camera or two, and you would be able to see instant results to see if they're going to work out rather than having to wait for them to be developed. So, and I had to actually look at the setting that you need to change. It's release shutter without lens is the setting that you have to make sure is opted on to be able to actually use this lens to film videos or take photos. So that's the setting that you have to make sure is on, because otherwise you can press the record button, you can press the shutter button, it's not going to do anything without that toggled on. So make sure that that's on if you ever get this lens so that you can actually use it, so you're not just sort of frustrated. Wherever you purchase it from is probably going to have that instruction within the product information, so just make sure that you have a read and you know where to find it so that you're not frustrated because it's not working for you. So if you're watching this because you're not sure if you should buy one or not, I honestly think it's so cheap, it's so lightweight, you're not even going to notice it in your camera bag. It's definitely worth picking up, even if you don't use it all the time. Just to have a lens that you can chuck on, get an old school feel without having to worry about editing later on. A lot of the lenses are 3D printed, so people think it's a waste of plastic, which I understand, but the camera itself is plastic and is being recycled or thrown away into landfill. So it's sort of a much and muchness, you know, you are recycling the lens, so at least one part of the old camera is being used and the other parts they're getting disposed of however they're being disposed. I do just think it's cool, easy to use, chuck it on, you get old school sort of feels, you get the built-in vignette, the colors, although muted, give that old school feel which is expected from buying an old school lens. It must be that time of the year. There's so many cicada shells and cicada carcasses and bodies, and they're everywhere. On that first table that I set up at, yeah, there's so many bodies around the barbecues and on the tables and chairs and logs, and I don't know if they're harmful or whatever, but they haven't hurt me yet. I thought I would show you what I'm talking about, how I'm saying there's so many cicada shells and carcasses and stuff. So I'll quickly show you that and then we'll wrap up this video. And to be honest, they actually look like some of them are alive. Like that guy is definitely alive. I don't even know what they are. Is it cicada? Is it cicada? I don't know. Anyway, I'm gonna get away from them, try to find a table that doesn't have as many of those, and wrap up this video. So I've definitely already said it a few times in this video, but for 50 bucks, this lens is definitely worth every cent. And to be able to shoot videos with it is even better. I do like the focal length. As I mentioned, I will have to invest in getting a proper lens of a similar focal length, or that has the ability to have that sort of focal length. Look how small, compact, lightweight, and the shots that you get out of it are pretty cool. So it's a no-brainer. You definitely have to pick up one of these lenses if you're in the market for one, and I don't think you'll regret it. Well, hopefully you enjoyed today's video, and again, I make a video every week, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on any future videos. I will catch you in the next video. Bye!